The funeral of the last Light One takes place on the planet Coruscant, the very center of the Republic. They watch as his body vanishes into the Force, and think that this is not only the end of this ancient race, strong in the Force, but also that he was personally instrumental in bringing an end to the Sith, a collaboration of Dark Ones who battled them for supremacy, before finally being overcome. But with his passing will also come a diminishment in their ability to use the Force, as they are not as able to use it in quite the manner that the Light Ones could. These races had the ability to move matter at will with the power of the Force, not merely to influence their abilities of perception and reflexes. And this ability was passed on to Jedi Masters such as Yoda, and then on to some humans especially adept in the Force, who became the new breed of Jedi Knights. They are concerned, though, of losing his influence in the galaxy. Several other officials and politicians are present at the funeral, including Senator Goff Palpatine, beside his elder brother Ambassador Palpatine. They watch the sunset, and the next day seems just like any other. The sun is shining brightly into the large curvilinear windows, the sky is just as pure a blue. Qui-Gon goes to speak to Obi-Wan, and reveals that although the Force is strong, it still needs living beings to act rightly. He warns him about being too self-assured, and even Obi-Wan feels guilty at this statement. They speak of the Jedi Master, Yoda, but he is located far from here, training Jedi in seclusion, entirely cut off from the outside world. The dark forces of the universe seem to have been vanquished, but there is always evil to be overcome. But they themselves are unaware of all the secret Sith strongholds and enclaves that ever existed, and Yoda has spoken in the past too concerning his fears of the Sith reviving. Worlds away, Count Dooku makes contact with a mysterious figure cloaked in a dark hood. He tells him that he has special news for him, and something that could make all the difference concerning their plans. A ship arrives on the planet Sereno, where the Count greets the same hooded figure, whom he addresses merely as Master. And the figure reiterates that Dooku has favorable news to tell him, asking if he has found anything valuable concerning the nature of the Sith. Dooku answers that he hasn't found anything such as this, although he is still making a full study of the issue, which is difficult to do without drawing attention to oneself, but he has recently learned of something perhaps even more significant. The hooded figure is intrigued, and Dooku tells him of something he has recently learned from a reliable source, and that it is worth their while for the two of them to travel to a particular planet named Addis, so as to see for themselves. Dooku says that this could make all the difference concerning his plan, and Sidious agrees, and Dooku orders that his ship be prepared. Unseen and disguised, Dooku and his companion walk the streets of a small city at night, and occupy themselves upon this disreputable planet on the far fringes of the jurisdiction of the civil authorities. And here they know there occur especially depraved practices, even so much as to make the place dangerous to visitors. But now Dooku discloses to him that he is going to see a performance by someone who possesses strong powers in the Force. They sit through various acts, which are of varying interest to them. The one in the act they await is named Dark Mauler, a dark sorcerer who looks just like one of the Dark Ones, but who is clearly young, but not as powerful as his forebears. He performs various absurd stunts and tricks with the Force for his owner, who takes him to perform as part of his traveling freak show. On stage he performs levitations and other grotesque acts, even acts of torture and death to other beings, strangling them, tossing them around, pulling them to pieces, or merely causing them to explode from within. The hooded man is enthralled by the power that Mauler is capable of, and he wishes to go speak to him. The next performance comes on with a woman in a cage chained to a torture robot, who cracks his whip. Dooku and the hooded man speak to Dark Mauler, and the hooded man reveals his identity to him, against the advice of Dooku, but which piques Mauler's interest. Then they go to the owner and offer to buy out Zabrak, but the owner refuses. Dark Mauler is too much of a money-maker for him. But then Maul hears this, and brings about the death of his owner, and then meets up with the two of them, where they are waiting for him. The hooded man says he knew he would come, and Mauler says his name is truly Zabrak, and the cloaked man says that he has proven his ability, and promises that he will help him to develop and utilize his skills. They leave in his ship, and the cloaked figure then gives instructions to Zabrak that he needs him to perform a simple act in line with what he is used to, and they travel to the planet Naboo, and there Zabrak is instructed as to what he must do. They are able to land his ship, without trouble, within the city. They go off leaving Zabrak within the ship. He enters the city and locates the proper place, and among those at the dining table is Senator Gough Palpatine, and his older brother, though the senator mentions that he himself feels that his brother has aged well, and a man of youthful energy. At the dinner the senator suddenly has a mild problem breathing, and doesn't mention it at first, as Maul is hidden nearby toying with him using the Force. His brother asks him if he's alright, and he answers that he is fine, before he then makes the motion of clutching his throat. The senator is unable to breathe, and all at the table are thrown into a panic, as he collapses to the floor. Palpatine rushes to him, but he soon suffocates to death. He asks that they send for the medical wing, but it is too late for him. They conduct an autopsy but cannot find anything obstructing his windpipe, and they say that his death seemed like some sort of attack upon him. But given his death and the vacuum, Ambassador Palpatine is appointed by the Queen to be the senator's replacement, and that he must himself go as representative to the Galactic Senate. Palpatine says he is reluctant, given that he is not a politician, but the Queen believes he is the only man for the post. Zabrak returns to the ship and Count Dooku is there to meet him. Then the cloaked figure returns and Zabrak tells him that he carried out his command, and he answers that he knows, and that he did well. But Zabrak asks concerning this man, as to who he was that made him his enemy. And he smiles and says that he was in no way an enemy of his, but rather always had a great deal of fondness for him. But this was something that simply had to be done, and he pushes back his hood, telling Zabrak that the man he killed was his own brother. And beneath the hood is Palpatine himself.